And what do you think about that outpouring of people for all those things you just mentioned, whether they were volunteering, donating, whatever?
Yeah, honestly, it renews my faith in humanity that, oftentimes things are overshadowed by some of the bad things that are occurring in and around our world, but it just lets me know that there's so much kindness that exists out there. There are so many stories within this story that you could probably do, many weeks of, of shows just on the stories of people reaching out just to do anything that they can.
Yeah.
Complete strangers to family members to friends.
That's pretty impressive. It's very
Yeah.
impressive. I think there's a lot of people who like you.
I appreciate that.
Don't you think? It must be. Yeah, no, it's lovely as well. Oh, would you mind if I took you back, though, to tell us what happened initially?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't mind at all. It all started out with, we have this new home and this wonderful neighborhood, and looking forward to going for a family walk after dinner. And I thought I would be funny and climb what I thought was an easy tree to see if the kids would notice their dad, hiding there. Of course, they immediately did. I decided to make one more reach for the limit above me and slipped and fell and landed, I think, just right or wrong, depending on how you look at it, falling to the ground. There are so many things that fell into place after that that made the difference between me being alive, or not, including the quick response from my own children to getting the phone and helping to call 911, to going to the neighbor's house, to my wife providing CPR to me and our neighbor assisting, and the really amazing quick response of our first responders. It all fell into place, and honestly, I'm so grateful to be here.
And what is the injury?
The injury is is to my spine, and it's to the area called the cervical 3 and 4 vertebrae. And so essentially what that entails is I do not have much feeling or any feeling or function below the injury of those vertebrae. So I don't have function really below my chest.
Yeah, so what movements do you have now?
So,
and feelings?
Yeah, so I have feelings in my head and in my neck and my shoulders and parts of my back. And then the interesting thing is that even though generally speaking, you're not supposed to have function below the level of injury, I do have some minor sensations and some really small movements, which, provides us with some hope that over the course of the next several years, some of those movements will come back and I'll be able to function more.
Because that means something's getting through, some message is getting through.
That's exactly right.
And the feelings, I think you said in the other interview, your arms?
Yes, so right now I have sensation starting in my biceps, which is below the level of injury, which again gives us some hope that perhaps some messages are trying to sneak through, and that would allow me to bend my arm, which gives me more function to do things independently, like perhaps someday feeding myself rather than having others feed me.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of optimism anyway.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're realistic about it as well. These are small.
That's right.
Seemingly small, but they're big for you. If anything that should continue.
Yeah. We use the words hope and hopefully around our house and with our family members and friends, because that's really what we're looking forward to.
And what tree was it?
It was a tree in the front yard.
Is it still there, or is it gone?
It is still there. You know what?
One right here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. One of the first trips that I made when I got home was to the tree to make peace with it. We didn't cut down the tree. It's a beautiful tree. It's a part of our house. It's a part of the charm, I think, of the house, and it's going to be there forever. So, yeah, it's still there. It's a part of our home.
See, that group that they took off some of the lower branches. Is that the one?
Yes, so we did take off a couple of the branches, specifically the ones that I fell from, just to also ensure that no other children from the neighborhood, you know, are eager to try to climb, the tree.
Some
It would
people
make,
might want to have gotten rid of it, right?
that's true.
But why not? Why keep it, I should say?
Yeah, why keep what?
Why keep the tree?
Like I said, I think there's just a lot of charm there.
Yeah.
This is a part of, a tragic accident that occurred, but that's how we've viewed this, is a really tragic accident, and we have to come together as a family to work through that as best we can. And it's an emotional roller coaster for our family, but we don't believe that cutting down the tree is going to help us, come to closure with the tragic accident. I wake up each and every day and I'm living a new life that I never thought I would be living. So we're taking it more day by day with, what we do here versus really focusing our energy on one thing like the tree.
And you must be doing therapy, right? Continuing to
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go back to Spalding Rehabilitation for our outpatient therapies. They're one of the leading rehabilitation hospitals, in the country and even within the world. And so we're going to continue to go to that great facility to receive treatment.
So you just have to keep working at it and see what happens, right, as you heal?
That's exactly right. And they say that it takes, most of the progress takes place in the first 18 months after the injury. But there's so many stories and examples of people who have function return to various parts of their body 3, 4, 5, and 10 years out. So that's why we continuously use the words hope and hopefully, and we keep looking forward and ahead.
And obviously, to say that you've been dealt a difficult hand would be a bit of an understatement. But how do you look at that? You started talking about that a little bit, in terms of it being an accident. But how do you look at that? Is that same kind of idea of, if this then that, and you're talking in the car, it's like somebody goes for a drive and there's a terrible accident, but if they had been 30 seconds earlier or later, it's like such a I don't want to say frivolous, but it's like just a happenstance.
Yeah, we tried to move past that. We still talk about the accident because we think that that's healthy and that can still help us to heal as a family, and all of us were involved within that. But really we focus on each day, one day at a time. There's a sign that hangs above our bed that says, "You and me, we got this." I think we use that as our mantra to stay positive, and to try to make sure that each day we find some positive pieces to that. That said, we certainly have our moments where we have really tough days and things are emotional, and I relive the fact that I can no longer do a number of things that we all take for granted. I think I've shared examples before that right in front of my very own eyes, I see my entire family cooking and cleaning and feeding me and doing simple tasks that most of us take for granted. And these are tasks that I can no longer do independently at this time. So those are the frustrations that exist, at least for me, and I know take a toll on my family and friends who are willing to help. But in general, we really look at each day as a new day, and really are still working hard at recovery, and that takes time.
Right, and with the full realization of that time and how new all this is, you're a principal you're in the education world. Is that something you think you'll go back to?
Absolutely. I really miss being around the kids and working with my colleagues. I've had to still stay in touch with my colleagues a little bit because I miss just the conversations about education. I very much look forward to returning to the education world, hopefully principal, and really continue my work in that field. It's a field that I got into, for many reasons, but one, to make sure that I am supportive of students, and that they have truly positive experiences, in their education.
Right, it's more brain work than physical work.
Yeah,
Be good for the kids too.
yeah.
And in a more general sense, though, what do you see as the future? Again, knowing that this is all new here, but
Yeah,
what do you see for yourself here and your family?
I see that it's going to take us some time to get used to this, new challenge that exists for us. But one of the thing that I think makes us such a strong family unit is that we continually talk about the new traditions that we're going to create, or the changes that we'll have to make to our current traditions. I think what we really hope to do is to pay it forward. There are so many people who have done so many excellent things for us that we want to pay it forward somehow, some way. And so we're looking forward to finding time to look into the ways that we, can do that. In terms of my own growth personally, I hope that over time I'll continuously make strides towards greater function, in my body. And we'll keep working really hard at that. The hard part is that early on, you could see a lot of growth right away. And at this point, we're just trying to get small, tiny little muscles, in parts of my body to work. And so the growth is really hard to see in the moment. But when you step back and you look at the beginning until now, you can see lots of growth. So for the future, we're looking forward to continuing to shed light also on spinal cord injuries and what that entails.
It sounds like, despite this, what has befallen you, you feel that you're a pretty fortunate guy overall to have all this going on.
Yeah,
Is that right, or is that?
I really do feel fortunate. As I said, there are a number of things that occurred, with the accident that had they not occurred the way that they did, I wouldn't be here. I still get to wake up each and every day, especially in my beautiful new home, and I get to see my wife lying next to me. I get to see my children each and every day, which is wonderful. And I can still be a dad. I can still tell them to clean up their room. I can still get a hug from them. We can still laugh and have a lot of fun together as a family. I'm me. Nothing's changed except that I have some wheels that need to help me get around, and I need a little more help from friends and family and primary care assistance.
Kids don't clean up their rooms, though, really, right?
No. Gosh, no. Gosh, no.
Those are my questions. Like I said, we can only use a little of it. But is there anything else you want to add that I haven't asked you, or you want to go back over anything?
I just would love to just thank the community and anyone and everyone who has helped us with this whole process. We have food trains, and we have people who have created this beautiful new home for us. People who have donated money towards our GoFundMe. People who have just reached out to support. Allie and I would love to write thank you notes to each and every one of those people, but we would never be able to accomplish that. And so I'd love to use this venue as a means to really thank everyone for the continued support, especially you. You've covered this story from start until now, and I feel like that allows us to really spread the word about spinal cord injuries, what it entails, and the fact that more, money needs to go into research to help with spinal cord injury patients.